In the spirit of starting our podcast in the most obscure way possible, do you watch any curling?
Here and there.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I might have introduced us with these meditation cards.
Okay.
Thought maybe we'd start a little slow.
Oh,
Just
okay.
found them sitting here.
All right.
But
While you're working on that, I was
mm,
watching the highlights of curling this morning.
okay.
Rachel Holman, who came back last week after having a child the week before, won that tournament at the Grand
Wow.
Slam. So congrats on that. We didn't even mention it. I forgot. Then I was watching the highlights this morning, and she made the most disgusting shot I've ever seen. Just like threw it down the side off of her own rock, threw it through, and like knocked the other team's rock out of it, and like sat three to score three on there. I'm like, that well done, lady. That was
It
incredible.
is
I
such
can't
an
do it
art
justice. You
form.
have to look it up. But
Mm. It's such an art form, man, to
oh
be
my
able to do
god,
that. And like even the balance itself to sustain that sort of
it's
like
crazy.
vision with the rock. Yeah, if you want to watch a quick documentary about curling,
Yeah.
go into The Losers, one on
Okay.
Netflix, and
Right.
there's this one episode about curling. I don't know if it's in like the 80s or something like that, but
Okay.
these like two rivals pretty much they meet each other.
Huh.
But it's really cool to just see kind of it was kind of like a different take on curling that I'd never really thought to watch before, but because it was the next episode, I was like, yeah, why not? A
Did
little
you
Canadian in
know
there.
curling actually does the best numbers of anything on TSN? I don't know if it's still a thing, but as of like
Really?
2 years ago, curling
I
was
could
still the
see that.
highest watched sporting event on TSN. Like
They
crazy.
they probably did not have a lot of well, I don't know, because like TS like you get a lot of I find like East Coast
Yeah.
loves it.
Oh yeah.
Like they
Both
are
coasts, I
huge
feel
fans.
like even like Saskatchewan, like Alberta, like out that way, they
They're all
love it
really
too.
good at it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
always find it
crazy.
interesting too. There's like there's not only
Manitoba.
like each team, but then there's like a Team Canada that's like the best team
It's so
out of
weird.
that year. And then
I
there's like a
don't agree
random
with the way
team.
they do their tournaments. Like
It's
it's
fun.
weird, but
It's
it's
fun.
cool. It's
It's
different.
fun. Yeah. No, these
Yeah.
cards are
So what are
pretty
these?
great.
What are these cards? Are we
Well,
gonna?
this one's like so this one says like mountain breathing, where you're just
Okay.
like, you inhale, you hold, and you
Oh,
exhale, and you
okay.
inhale
So
and you
this is
hold.
just telling
I
me how
think
to. Oh, it's
how
like
about this?
helping me meditate.
We're gonna bank on this one when you get a little heated. When I go through what I call
If
Brant's
I'm
rant.
going too hot, you just pull up that card and be like,
So
ah,
when we're in
okay.
the middle of Brant's rants, I'll just like pull up the card and it's like, hey, here it is.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
here for
they're
that.
fun stuff.
I
But
don't
basically,
disagree.
mountain breathing is just inhale, hold, exhale, and then you just keep progressing.
Okay.
Up the mountain you go.
I don't
It's
hate
top of the
that.
pile.
I need to
No,
move
it's
that up
top
a
of the
little
pile.
bit
But I'm
more.
looking at the dock here, and I'm just seeing, there's potential
Hey,
for this card to get pulled.
all right. May not, maybe. Who knows? Anyways, we're we're starting. We started on a weird note, but this is what we do here. It's fun. Back to what actually matters. The Blue Jays, they're back in action tonight. They had a nice day off yesterday. I have nothing but good news about the Blue Jays right now. I'm so excited. Uh, First and foremost, probably the biggest news of the bunch. George Springer played an inter squad game today. He could be ready early as tomorrow. I don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow, but it could be tomorrow. Depending on how he comes out of this. Now, there's a good chance that it's tomorrow. There's a good chance that it's not tomorrow. You never really know with this guy. But as of right now, George Springer probably going to play this weekend, which is incredible news because they really need that boost at the top of the lineup. Awesome. So there was that. In that same inter squad game, Nate Pearson is going to pitch. I don't know if that game's actually started yet, but he's going to pitch. He's going to pitch 2 to 3 innings. He's not really that close. He needs to be stretched out to 5 apparently before he's able to come up and play with the big leagues. But that's a good sign. He's up to two to 3 innings already, which is great. He's closing in on a return. Could be 2 to 3 weeks, maybe if everything goes well. So that's great news. We got 2 guys that we haven't seen yet this year that have a potential chance of playing for the Blue Jays, which is awesome because they could use the help. And then continuing on with more great news, Teoscar Hernandez only needed a negative test today in order to be eligible to come back. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to come back today, even if he tests negative, because obviously he's been out a while and he's had COVID. So they don't know how it's going to affect him. They're going to let him figure it out on his own. But he's not far off from a return, too. Could be as early as this weekend, could be next week. Who knows? He's around the corner. And then the fun doesn't end there because there's more. Jordan Romano and Tyler Chatwood both eligible off the IL. I think it's today. And apparently they're both healthy and ready to go. So we could see both of them this weekend, all weekend, probably every game, because they're rested and healthy and ready to go. And that's unreal because, especially with Jordan Romano, you heard ulnar neuritis, and that's a word I had to look up how to pronounce. And when that happens, it's worrisome. So we know how to pronounce it now, and we know it wasn't that serious. So it's great. Everyone's coming back.
How many times did you hit the Google speaker to where it pronounced it for you? You just kept listening.
Ulnar neuritis. Ah.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm in. No, that's definitely good, man. They're all getting
So much
healthy,
news.
and it's coming at a time where they've still been able to maintain a good position and stay close. But now, the boys are going to get healthy, and having George Springer, especially, that's like your big fish in the pond. That's your big boy who's supposed to lead the way, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like they're struggling right now at the top of the rotation. Or sorry, at the top of the batting order. Yeah, at the top of the
nobody's
batting
really
order.
grabbed the reins for the leadoff spot right now.
No, they threw up Marcus Semien, and he was not
inconsistent.
good.
Like, he had moments where he looked
Not
good, but he can't put the ball into the opposite field. He only knows how to pull it. So that's
he was really bad.
Yeah.
And
great start and just sunk from there. Once we mentioned him, he just went woof down.
Yeah, and I think that Biggio getting a little injured as well kind of stopped him from getting a real fair opportunity up at the top of the batting order there. And so yeah, you have two big bats right now in Hernandez and Springer that are off the team. So
you're probably plugging them in at 1 and 4. I would assume, first game back, they're plugging in at 1 and 4 right now.
Right now, unfortunately, they're forced to ride a point where Alejandro Kirk is your DH because Danny Jansen is your catcher.
Yeah.
And that sucks, right? That sucks because this team absolutely has so much potential, but they've been bit by the injury bug from the start.
So this is we could be looking at the first time all year that we are seeing a healthy Blue Jays team that we looked forward to seeing early on, like in spring training. Springer, like when they signed Springer, you were looking, that's kind of the moment where everything turned like, okay, this could be a playoff year for the Jays. And like everyone's looking at what they've been so far. And I think they're 8-9, 8-10, something like that this season. I don't have it in front of me, but they're slightly below 500. And everyone's looking at that like it's a blown season and they don't look good. And like you can't give it that yet because you haven't seen this team with their biggest acquisition, arguably their two biggest acquisitions if you include Kirby Yates.
Okay, so here's the good thing too is that you're not out of any sort of race.
No,
it's still early enough that getting these guys healthy and into as many games as they can now from this point. You don't have to worry about lost time. The fact that you're 8-10, like if I said to you that the Blue Jays were not last in the division, they're tied for third right now. They're still within 2 games of Tampa.
Ahead of the Yankees.
Right. This is what I'm saying. So if I said that to you, and I also said to you, George Springer has yet to play a game, and Teoscar Hernandez has been out as well, and then our pitching, which was weak to begin with, has just been obliterated.
Yeah. And you told me we're still within striking distance. I would take that all day long.
So you need to take advantage of this division. Now, one thing I will say before we move on is that the Boston Red Sox are leading the division and are hot to trot right now. JD Martinez is putting up MVP-like numbers again. He's hitting the ball well. No, I just the Jays are doing what they need to do to stay competitive, and I've kind of said before, this is not going to be the last, the final roster that the Jays have. No. This will not be George Springer and Marcus Semien will not be the last thing that they do, and Kirby Yates, that will not be the final moves.
There's definitely a strong chance if they're competing down the stretch, they're going to bring in more names. We are 11% through the season, 11. So let's not pretend like we know anything about what's going to happen for the rest of the way here. They have a big series with the Rays coming up. They need to at least split these series with the division rivals. I think the split with the Red Sox was great. The first game, you'd obviously like to have a win there, but whatever, it happens. And then that second one was a huge win. The offense showed up. Bo and Vlad look incredible. Now you go into the series tonight. Obviously, it's a tough battle with Tyler Glasnow on the other mound, but you have Steven Matz pitching. So there's a chance you walk away with this one too. Who knows? And then you try and take this series against the Rays and you take it one day at a time. Just win the games that you hope to win and go from there, man. You're not going to win every day. And the people that watch the Blue Jays and get upset when they lose games, I feel really bad for you. because even good teams are going to lose at least record-setting season. You're losing like 50 games realistically. So, I mean, even good teams are going to lose 62 games a year. I mean, like, take these ones with stride. It's early. The roster's coming back, and I think we're going to be fine.
I think that this is going to be a real prove-it game for Steven Matz because, you're going up against Tampa Bay's one, who has been phenomenal so far and is, in his 4 games started. Yeah, like he has an under 1 ERA right now. It's gross.
He's disgusting.
And everybody said that, he let's not forget, he was third in that rotation behind Morton and Snell. And then within the year, they just said, you know what, we're taking him. And he's shown that he's able to keep them in games, right?
He's a fantasy monster, by the way.
Right. I'm not saying he's absolutely perfect, and I'm not saying that he's going to maintain this the whole year, but he is still showing you that he was ready to take over the reins.
Yeah. No.
And there's a reason why they let go of the other two. So.
And then Steven Matz, on the other hand, you don't really know if he's ready to be that number one guy yet, but he's looked so far like he could potentially be a number one guy. Obviously, his stuff is very different than what Tyler Glasnow's bringing. It's not as hard. It doesn't have that same bite, but he's just so good at finding the corner of the plate. And he works inside, outside, high, low, doesn't matter. He's just really smart, knows what he's doing. And if he can continue to do that, and if he can battle along with Tyler Glasnow tonight, I think he'll put the Jays in a good spot to win. I even with the depleted bullpen, I have faith in that.
You don't need to throw hard in this league anymore because the batters are able to hit hard.
They're used to seeing 100.
A lot better, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. So if you try to, sacrifice location for a little more velocity, you're going to lose that battle 10 out of 10 because these batters are too good. Now, if you have shit that moves and if you have shit that you can combine with well-placed fastballs, then sure. He doesn't need to have good, like really hard stuff. And I think that's what he's shown this year is that he's not going outside of his range, and Pete Walker is kind of as well probably keeping him within that, within the first year. And it's working out this year so far.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, like I said, this is going to be the real prove-it game of where this team is kind of sitting. If we're going to lose these games by tons and lose these series without even competing, then, expectations maybe start to change.
Yeah.
But right now, like it's still, like you said, you're 11%, when we get to 30, 40%, you start approaching that halfway point.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're really starting to slip out, and Baltimore for some reason just stays sort of hot, like better than what, it's interesting.
How crazy is it that we're ahead of the Yankees and we're not in first place in the division? Like, if you told me at the beginning of the year, like, yeah, come, April 23rd, you're going to be a game ahead of the Yankees, I would have thought we'd be in first place. But
dude, they're
terrible.
They all their big hitters are
terrible.
Missing.
Nobody's hitting.
No one's showing
Nobody's
up.
hitting.
I don't get it. I don't know why they've decided to go away like this.
You kind of expected their starting rotation to be not great. Like, I didn't have a lot of faith in what came in there. Like, Corey Kluber is a question mark. You never know what that guy was going to be. Jamison Tyon's never healthy. And then behind that, like, Montgomery's not good. And I don't even know who.
As much as we're going to blame that, I'm going to read you off some of their.
This is what I mean. It hasn't even been the problem, is what I was trying to get to there.
158, 161, 200, 163, 212, 167 from Rougned Odor, who they just got. Like,
that's the problem. They signed that goddamn kid.
M. Ford, who's played in 3 games and had 11 appearances. Mike Ford, he's still hitting 0.91.
Attaboy. I love it.
I love it. That's not the Yankees' way.
I do not feel at all bad that the Yankees suck. If any team deserves to suck, it's the Yankees. And this is great. This is great for baseball. This is great for fans and any other team in the AL East. This is great for fans anywhere. It's just great to watch the Yankees lose. It's fantastic. That fan base sucks. I hope y'all hear this and rip me for it because it's what you do. Like, you're terrible. Throwing baseballs on the field like sewer trash. Garbage. I love it. This is the greatest part of the season, is when the Yankees are losing. I love it.
You know what else is great to see, too?
Mm-hmm.
The Houston Astros are in the same position as the Yankees, being last in their division. Wonderful.
Yeah.
The world is kind of coming back into balance.
This is a great day off.
What's fair to say? Yeah, right now. I want to remember this day as the day that the Yankees and the Astros were both
Everything's
bottom of the
backwards. We
division.
love it. We love it. One thing that's a little more surprising, not quite as surprising as all those, the Oakland A's.
Have been
Wow,
hot.
for starters. So they have a 6-game losing streak this year. They also own an 11-game win streak. Wow. That's like they started off so bad. It's just like I had no idea what that team was going to be. They didn't look like they were doing anything. They were 1-7 to start, 1-7 to start the year, and then just blew up and just put themselves atop of that AL West. It's cool. I don't know how they're doing it. I still don't understand how the Oakland A's are good, to be honest.
Dude, that last game was crazy against Minnesota. Like in the top of the 10th, I think Buxton hit like a home run to put Minnesota up by 2, and it was like, dude, this is done. And then somehow Minnesota loads the bases in the bottom of the 10th, and then like it should have been game over. And because he threw the ball away so far over first base, both batters played it, and like it was. Oh man, it was crazy.
Minnesota is a heartbreaker. Like,
I
had so much promise for them, and they're just reeling. They cannot figure shit out.
Did you pick them first in that division?
I took the White Sox.
Right, the White Sox. Maybe I did. Who knows?
Could have.
No, I think I took the White Sox too. But
Kansas City's looking okay in that division. Everyone else looks okay in that division except for Minnesota.
Cleveland's even hanging on too.
Yeah, they're not as terrible as I'd expected.
Shane Bieber, hello.
That guy can win.
He just, can he go up there every 3 games? Is that possible? Will he want to?
Just pitch
Holy crap.
Can you just Madison Bumgarner and pitch every day? Because that's the only chance they have.
He'll pitch all 162.
Yeah. So, I think that's baseball news. There's nothing else around the league, is there?
Just kind of scrolling through. I don't think so, man. I don't know if you ever watched a bit of the Padres series with the Dodgers.
That's going to make for some fun baseball.
Oh, no, it was kind of missed by us? Bo Bichette on his home run, which is funny. I don't know if you heard about the ball.
Right.
Right. That's really just...
It was cool. If you haven't heard the story...
things in life that just,
Yeah, it's wild. So Bo Bichette hits a home run at Fenway Park the other day. Hits it out of the stadium in front of a building that is across the road. That building used to be a gym. It's no longer a gym. It's been closed. But it used to be a gym, and at that gym, a young Dante Bichette met his now wife at the time at that building, and Bo somehow hit that building with his home run. So Dante actually called one of the guys working on the broadcast team or something like that, and he's just like, hey, like, this is the story. Can you work on getting that ball? So they somehow they got it around to the people that found the ball, and they got that ball back for Bo. Bo signed a bunch of balls for them, gave them back, and then now Bo has the ball for Dante that he hit out of the park right to where his parents met. That's just, it's so
That's
cool.
funny, man. So, yeah. Actually, before we move on from baseball, we kind of, I'm going to branch off from what we said last week with how baseball is like, they're trying to hold on to this original idea, like we're the same from when we started, but they have all these rule changes. Right now, I think there's even more. Like if we go into those rule changes, I never realized how many are actually in the minor leagues that are being tested out, and how.
I mentioned this briefly last week.
Different to the game. Yeah, absolutely. But I looked into it more, and it's really weird.
It's stupid. I hate
that they're still trying this, and then they're still trying to hold on to this fact that
the one thing I don't hate that they're doing down there is the bigger bases. I think that's kind of cool because, like, A, it's safer, and B, you can steal more bases. Was another thing is like it gives you more room to like kind of maneuver around the bag and stuff, which is cool. I like that idea. But like they're tinkering with this stupid ass DH rule where it's like a hybrid DH where it's not no DH, it's not full DH, but it's like the starter has a DH, but once you remove the starter, you remove the DH. And like I don't get it at all. I mentioned it last week, but it doesn't make sense to me because you're kind of just half-assed in the middle because it's like there's the strategy of using no DH, and I respect that, and like it takes a lot of work as a manager, and that's cool. So if you're looking for strategy, get rid of the DH. But if you're looking to create runs, just keep a full DH on both sides. Like you're not really benefiting anything at this point. Like you have 6 innings of strategy max, and then you go, or not even, six or less innings. Like what happens if your starter gets pulled in the first? Like you're
Right.
not creating any more runs. You're just making it
No.
harder on the manager. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's really weird too, man. I don't know. Some of these ones are like limited to 2 pickoff attempts per plate
Really?
appearance. Yeah, oh yeah. A 15-second pitch clock in low A West
Okay.
only.
I don't
But
hate
like
the pitch clock, but
I don't think it needs to be 15 seconds. I don't think they're really all that bad, you know?
I don't know why they're like nickel and diming seconds. Like it's a
Yeah.
joke,
What is,
honestly.
isn't it a 30-second pitch clock right now?
I think. It's like it's weird. It's not even a 30-second pitch clock. It's like you have time between innings that you have to hit and stuff like that. It never matters anyways. They never
Okay.
listen to it.
But one thing
Like,
they do also have is the automatic ball and strike system.
oh, that could be good.
in
We could use
one
that.
of the low A ones. Yeah, because I actually remember seeing a clip where a guy gets struck out and
Yeah.
he goes to turn and there's nobody there,
Yeah.
obviously, because like
Yeah.
or no, he goes to turn, the umpire is still there,
Yeah.
but there's nobody. Like he knows that
What
it's
do you
not
want me
his
to
call.
do?
He's like, well, I didn't fucking make the call.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't hate that. I hate everything else they're trying to do. It's just like how like
it's
two pickoff rule would be stupid because like if I'm the base runner and he tries to pick me off twice, I'd just take a 9-step lead and steal second. Like easily. Because
it's
you can't pick me off. What are you gonna do?
yeah,
That's stupid. I don't like that. I
yeah.
hate Rob Manfred.
It's a weird rule. It makes it so you can't really pick off the fast. Like you
No,
can't go to pick off the fast runners then.
no.
Like, there's the
There's all the
advantage to them for
strategy
sure.
in there's gone. I just
So with
don't.
the bigger bases, then, so you're going to see probably so many more steals.
Yeah.
If
Oh yeah,
that's
for
something that
sure.
comes
Because
to
you
MLB, there's some guys who are so fast, dude, and especially that
so
throw now.
strategic too, like with the swim
Yeah.
moves and shit that people do now. It's like it's
Hmm.
crazy what they can do, especially if you get bigger bags in there. That'd be a lot more fun.
Yeah.
That's the only rule I don't hate out of the entire group. The rest of them are just ridiculous. Like they're trying to get rid of the shift too. I get it, but like if you look deeper into the numbers, I heard this on one of the radio shows the other day. There's actually a higher batting average on balls in play when the shift is in place than when it's not.
Right.
As a whole, like there's
These
obviously
hitters,
some players where it affects, but like as a whole, there's a higher batting average.
these hitters are too good to consistently hit into something like that, man. I
Yeah.
remember, like, when I was first taught about how to beat a shift, it was just like drop your back foot type deal.
Yeah.
If you want to hit the opposite way, like depending on how they're going, and it's like, dude, just honestly, they figure it out. If I can hear that, and me being me, they probably have so much information coming to them on how to exactly hit it in the opposite way of the shift, and because they're professionals, probably going to do it.
If I'm a lefty hitter in a situation where I need to get on base and they pull a shift on me, all I got to do is bunt it down the third base line, and if it gets far enough, I can stretch that into a double. Realistically, like it's ridiculous. I don't think it needs to be worked on. I think if you want to do the shift as a defense, you're risking that play. And I get that it's more exciting to just hit the ball instead of just push it over into a gap where nobody is. But like
a lot of these guys are so much more athletic than what they're used to. So yeah, if you put a shift on and you can lay down a well-placed bunt to where either the pitcher or the third baseman even has to come across his momentum to get it over there to first, and you just are hustling down the base, then absolutely no reason why you shouldn't get that hit.
No. I don't know. I hate some of the rule changes. I don't like what they're doing. Yeah. Baseball, man. Stupid.
Baseball.
The Maple Leafs back in the win column once again after 4 straight losses against Winnipeg of all teams. Honestly, this is exactly what I'm saying is they just looked bored for that little stretch, and they're like, okay, let's just wake up for a little bit. And they woke up in that Jets game last night, and they woke up quick, man. Austin Matthews scored like 30-something seconds into the game, and then Simmer scored like a minute and something later. Like, it was an incredible start. Obviously, they looked a little shaky in the middle there. It's going to happen. It's hockey. Whatever. Jack let in some muffins. I'm not going to lie. But Jack also had some huge saves, and I think overall his performance was good. It wasn't elite, but it was good. I take that performance every day from Jack. He only gave up 3 goals, and if Jack Campbell only gives up 3 goals, you should win that game. They were good. Honestly, last night they were fantastic. They were not great in the Vancouver series. I don't think we talked about the second game yet, but it is what it is. Vancouver's still a good hockey team, even though they lost to Ottawa last night. They have some professional players on that roster that didn't have COVID, and they showed up and they just beat the Leafs. What are you going to do? It happens.
Yeah, I really got nothing to add about the Vancouver series. Like it was kind of expected. I feel like after you lose game one, they
Yeah,
looked really
they had the
disinterested, like you
confidence. You
said.
could see it.
Yeah, it's really tough right now, man. The Leafs are going through this weird situation where they're unsure of who's in the net.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're unsure of who's in the net and what you're getting in the net, like for the first time in how many years is the name not been Freddie Anderson
Yeah,
for
it's crazy.
important games,
Um,
right?
no save
That
Dave in there is not helping.
no,
Because
and that's the thing though, man. Like when you go into the playoffs, right? The issue is not that like I know you need to lose 4 games, but they've already shown they can lose 5, which is scary. But you also aren't going to lose 4 from one goalie.
No.
You now have the potential to go like 2-1-1.
Yeah.
Or like 1-1-2. Like even let the last guy just like right. Like it depends on how many like. So that's going to be the issue now. Is you almost have too many
options.
that
Too many
you don't know
just
who to put
average
in.
options is the problem.
Yeah.
Hopefully Freddie comes back and he's great, so you don't have to worry about it. But as of right now, you have 3 average options. And
so how many games do you give
thinking.
Freddie though? So let's say they hold him out to the playoffs, and you give Freddie Anderson. So Freddie Anderson gets 2 losses, and then you
if
go
he
down
loses
to
the first 2 games, you go back to Jack.
Personally. You putting Jack over Rittich?
I do not want no save Dave anywhere near the net, man. Like everyone was just like, oh, we got some insurance on the goalie. I'm like, yeah, he's not good, but yeah. And I said that on our podcast. You can clip.
You know what the issue is that you had to get insurance for what's his name, Michael Hutchinson,
when he gets released.
But that's the issue is that Michael Hutchinson was the 3rd string goalie that you might have had to use in a playoff series, and that's where they didn't want to lock in.
Gives you a higher ceiling than what Hutch was, obviously.
They all suck right now. I'm sorry to say.
No, they're just none of them are great. I've never been a big Dave Rittich fan. It's also Riddick. I always call him Rittich, but it's Riddick. But I'm going to continue to call him Rittich until he.
I think it's Rittich.
Saves. But yeah, he just he's not that good, and he has games like that. He can pull out a game where he makes 60 saves and wins you a game, but then he pops off 3 straight where he does that, and it's just like you can't trust that man as a starting goalie. As a backup, you can hope to God you get him on the right night, but as a starting goalie, it's just not there. So if your option after Freddie, it's not Riddick. It's you got to go to Jack. And if Jack falters, you try and go back to Freddie because I don't think there's no situation in my mind where you put Dave Riddick back in the net.
You hope that he has that confidence, like Campbell has that confidence, because he definitely needs that, right? I feel like that's what's kind of always not been his thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's never been able to find that confidence to just take over, right? And 11 wins was great, and that gave him this confidence.
You could see his confidence in those games where he just he knew he was the best goalie on the ice, and he was going to continue to be that.
And I feel like then all of a sudden he kind of got in his ear, like, "Hey man, you just set a record. Like you got to take this.
You got to continue this. Keep going."
That's a lot for somebody who is not only having gaining new confidence, but also trying to maintain this starting.
He's so hard on himself too. That's the other tough thing is he's really hard on himself, and when he gets down like that, it's normally pretty tough for him to get out of it. Now, the one thing I did like seeing from him was last night when he let those soft goals in early, and he came back stronger after that and looked great from then on out. He let in 1 weak goal in the middle of the game, but after those first 2, he kind of just locked it down and was kind of what we've seen out of Jack Campbell in the beginning of the season. And if he can figure out the mental side of the game and get himself in a state where he's you know what, it's just a goal, it's fine, continue onwards, then Jack Campbell can continue on holding that net down. But it's when he gets into those other moods that you're kind of
It was typical Leafs fashion to go down 2-1 within the first 5, or sorry, to go up 2-1 within the first 5 minutes of the game, right?
Yep.
They came out hot. They went 2-0.
Flying.
And then it was boom, 2-1. Okay, we're not out of the woods yet. I think it was 3-1.
No, 2-2.
2-2, sorry. Yeah. And then 3-2, and then Connor Hellebuck is gone.
Yeah,
that right there is, okay, you can't lose this game now because they just took out the guy that's supposed to be what stops you.
The best goalie in the world on the bench.
Have no idea why. It's a 3-2 game.
That right there is a win in itself because up until that game, Connor Hellebuck owned the Toronto Maple Leafs. And if you go into a playoff series against Connor Hellebuck, you're worried because that guy can easily steal 4 straight games and knock you right out of the playoffs. Now you have him in a game where you scored 3 goals on 6 shots, including 2 on the first 2. You're kind of in his head a little bit so that when you get him in the playoffs, he's going to be like, well, there's still that seed of doubt that maybe they could do what they did to me in the regular season that one game, which is way better than going in with like, yeah, I made 50 saves every single time I played this team. I have them. So you kind of like to see that a little bit.
A good thing too for me, man, was Mitch Marner. I know he got 2 goals, 1 from the empty net, but even still, like you get
Look great.
1 goal legitimate, and
that shot, dude. Holy shit! It looked like an Austin Matthews shot, just cannon on a rolling puck. Too great shot.
And also,
oh yeah, go ahead.
Everybody was buzzing too because they thought Joe Thornton scored.
Yeah,
and he had not. Like I got so many updates, and I looked, and I was like, "Oh, it's Jason Spezza's goal." I was like, "What is that?
So
what
tough.
Did they say?
So it would have made him the oldest goal scorer in Leafs history, and then they got called back.
Okay, but still, he has all
changed. Yeah, he's got more time.
10 games.
Hopefully he nets 1.
Yeah,
10 more games left. So hopefully he nets
Isn't that
1
crazy
more.
though? He's still nothing.
Yeah, 7. That was his first point in 17 games. So hopefully that's like the start of something, and he gets it rolling a little bit here because I would like to see him in the lineup. Like I'd hate to take him out after everything he's been through. On that Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews line, they put Nick Foligno out there for his first game, and he looked good. I don't know. I wouldn't call him great because I don't think Nick Foligno's ever going to be great.
I think he looked
he's
above
gonna
average.
Be good. Yeah, that's kind of just what he's going to cap out as is that guy. He's going to just be in your way. He's going to be good defensively, and he's going to give the puck to people that can do something with it, and that's all he needs to do on this team. I don't need him to score. I don't need him to undress anyone. Just be in the way and give the puck to people that can do something with it. That's his job, and he does a great job of it.
He's not going to be afraid. He's going to bring leadership to the team as a former captain, and he is going to fit in 1 through 4, which is something that was good, right? Like I got a buddy who's a Pittsburgh fan, and he talks about Kasperi Kapanen. And I said, look, Kapanen was good because realistically, you put him 1 to 4, he's gonna be noticeable on the ice, not necessarily in a good way.
He's so fast.
Yeah, he's just so fast, and like that was the thing. I go, he could literally be on line 1, the 1 game, the next game throw him down the line 4.
Yep.
And that's just the way he was. So it's good to have that guy back again, right? And not in the same sense of
he's not Kapanen, but he can do that type of thing.
But he fits this system better, right? He fits the way that the Leafs need to work. Dude, they are riding the Austin Matthews. They're riding the Austin Matthews pony till the very end, okay? If
the guy's scoring 50, don't worry.
He's going to score, and they're going to keep feeding him.
34 now for that kid. Pretty good.
He is pushing.
Yeah.
He wants it. He wants it bad. So
yeah. I think he reaches 40. He's got 10 games to get 6 goals. It seems like a ridiculous pace, but it's a pace that he can reach.
I honestly think that he is slowly making his case for why he should be considered one of the best in the league right now. And, for the first time, especially if the Leafs can win first in their division, I understand it's not the same divisions as before. It's still an NHL season. You need to have an MVP.
Yep.
I understand there's guys in Edmonton. I'm very aware that they exist. I understand that there's a Patrick Kane. I understand that there's a McDavid, but you are now doing something.
There's also a Draisaitl.
He is now doing something different though and better. Like
it's great that Connor McDavid can put up 1,000 points, but he can't play defense.
Dude,
it's proven. Like, he had a good start to the year on defense, but he's not good. He's a minus every time he's out there.
You cannot say they did not go to head-to-head, and you cannot say that they did not face the same adversity this season because they are literally playing the same teams and each other the whole season. This is the prove it of, okay, Connor McDavid may be the better individual player, but the MVP of the team and the MVP of this season has a good chance of being Austin Matthews because of the fact that this team is now first in the division and looks like a threat to go far. If they go far, you cannot tell me that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl deserve that more because once again they brought you to the first round and got bounced. There's no way you can say that they are the MVP because that what did that do for your team?
Yeah, kind of garbage that they can't really include playoffs, but I don't know, man. If you look,
are you kidding me? Playoffs are always included. Playoffs, they don't mention it for sure, but you are determined as well on your playoff success. That's why they wait until the end of the year. If they didn't care about the playoffs, they would announce it. What are we waiting for?
Mm-hmm.
Let's have the award ceremony. Let's get these guys their awards, and you can make some playoff awards, and you can do it all over again. And you draw more viewership, and you draw more sponsorship, and you draw more money because you have 2 sets of awards now.
Yeah. Austin Matthews has 13 points in the power play. Connor McDavid has 28. So if you just removed power play opportunities where, like, it's just a crapshoot, like, the points are so close. Like, Austin's got, where is he here? 24 even strength goals and 21 even strength assists. Connor's got 17 even strength goals and 32 even strength assists. Like, it is tight, man. Like, outside of the power play where things are just wizardry and, like, it's different, Austin's just been, I don't want to say the better player, but
Connor
been the better
McDavid
player.
has 77 points as a plus 16. Austin Matthews has 58 points plus 15.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're plus players.
I understand that plus minus kind of sucks, but, like, when you have 77 points, you shouldn't have the same amount of plus minus as the guy who's, like, 12 spots below you in points. I don't know. I don't get it.
Connor McDavid has got his. Connor McDavid will continue to get his.
Uh-huh.
Connor McDavid will not run out of MVP, like, nods. He will run out of MVP trophy room at his house. You know, that's that. He will.
Yep.
You know what he may not ever have though, is the ability to see the Stanley Cup.
You know what he's
because
not going to have?
They're going through the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm sorry, Edmonton fans,
never going to have as many. He's never going to have as many goals as Austin Matthews. So I don't know.
He's gross.
I value goals a little higher than some, maybe, but I don't know.
Edmonton, I think points, if you can contribute to that team, and that's why as well as plus minus, because there's times that, you know, maybe you're the breakout pass, especially for a defenseman. If you're kind of the breakout pass that leads to a 3-on-2 and they pass it around and you're not included, it wouldn't have been made without you though, or the block shot or something like that. Like that's.
Yep. I don't know, man. So, I don't think Austin Matthews is better than Connor McDavid.
No, but
this season, man,
like, for the MVP of the season, I
think it should be a battle, if anything.
Has Connor McDavid even been out for any games so far?
No. Also, didn't get fined for a ridiculous elbow that he threw at Corey Perry the other day.
I thought he got $5,000
for that. For the second one?
Yeah. Oh, not the second one.
No, he did for the first one. Second one didn't get a damn thing. I'm kind of getting sick of that. Like, I get that he's the biggest thing in the league and everyone loves him and people stroke him off here and there, but, like, if you do something stupid like that, you got to take the punishment for it, man.
You know what else is a big factor for me? Austin Matthews has blocked 39 shots. Connor McDavid, 17.
Yeah, but yeah, Connor McDavid's a better defensive player. That's what all the Edmonton fans are telling me.
Oh, yeah?
Ridiculous.
You're killing me, Smalls.
I would like to talk about the most polarizing man on the Leafs. And I don't know when Morgan Rielly became the next Jake Gardiner, but all of a sudden, we're shipping Morgan Rielly out of town again because I don't know. Last night, the storyline that went around was let's take Morgan Rielly off the power play and put Rasmus Sandin in because he played 30 seconds of great power play, as if Morgan Rielly's the reason that the $40 million forwards aren't taking shots. Like, he can only pass to them so many times. Like, at some point, you need to blame the forwards for not shooting the goddamn puck.
I think that everybody just needs to shoot. They need to stop waiting for this perfect opportunity and take good opportunities. Yeah. Take good opportunities. Yeah. Take good chances.
But how are you going to tell me that Morgan Rielly getting off there helps that?
You know what's awesome? If you have sticks, if you have bodies, the puck could hit off something.
Sure.
It could go in. That goalie will not be in position of where that puck is going to bounce. Sure. Good chance of that.
I understand if your criticism of Morgan Rielly is he's not a very good defender, because that's true. I'm not arguing that ever because he's not very good in his own end, but he is an elite puck mover, a great skater, and really good in the offensive zone. So if you're telling me that Rasmus Sandin, 21-year-old Rasmus Sandin, would be a better option, you know what? Fine. Throw him in there so that they can take no shots with him in there. Who fucking cares?
The issue for me, or not the issue for me, what I see being the issue for people now is that for the first time in a long time, Morgan Rielly's partner is not a liability to his game.
Yeah.
Morgan Rielly's partner is competent. Morgan Rielly's partner is good, except for there was one play, a couple plays, where TJ Brody has some mental lapses for sure.
Yeah.
He shows that he is a little tired, but for the majority of these games, he has been Morgan's right-hand man and have taken, once again, not much credit for it, playing alongside a really great defenseman, right? He did the same thing in Calgary.
Quietly doing a good job.
Yeah. Dude, last year we had Tyson Barrie, who everybody said, oh my God, he's going to be what this team needs to potentially play alongside Morgan Rielly. I know that we said it a couple times. We probably said it would be better alongside Jake Muzzin or somebody like that, but even still, his game did not work. And you paid a lot to get him. Maybe not in actual money, but in assets to the team. You gave up Nazem Kadri, who was starting to become one of the Leafs' favorite, like one of the Leafs fan base's favorite players. Really?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't understand where Leafs fans get a lot of shit from. I'm trying to pull up like some numbers that make sense.
If Rasmus Sandin comes into this lineup, Travis Dermott comes out. Hall comes out.
Well, currently Bogosian's hurt, so like Sandin's in the lineup, but like he's not your power play one guy.
Or an injury.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that he's not going to be
right. There's no sense in putting him at PP1 because he probably won't be there come playoff time.
Unless your plan is that Morgan's going to go to PP2 and he will lead that charge and be more of an asset there, which will help, Nylander down there, if I'm not mistaken, and some of the other guys. Because like we said, like they're not getting much depth scoring outside of PP1.
No.
On that other power play, so maybe having a little more depth is what they're thinking. But even still, Rasmus Sandin, I don't think is who you slide up there.
Sandin was on PP2, which is fine. I think he was good, and he played 30 seconds and looked fantastic. Like it's a role that Rasmus Sandin can absolutely play, but I don't want him taking over Morgan. Morgan Rielly's an elite puck moving defenseman. Like that's what he does. I know he's not a good defender. I get that. That's why you have TJ Brody.
Rasmus Sandin has 3 total games played. And this is going to become a point where teams are going to be have to take chances because they need points. They're going to need, and the one thing that you see about the Leafs is that their 4 guys hang low. Their 4 guys are constantly like kind of approaching towards the net, not taking shots, but they constantly are moving forward and pressuring in, and there's a chance for a breakout the other way. And Rasmus Sandin does not give me the confidence to stop one of those situations after having only 3 games played this season.
I don't know what to tell you. I just think it's really weird that somehow like we took what once was like the golden boy in Morgan Rielly and turned him into this scapegoat Jake Gardiner that we just had, and for some reason he wasn't an issue then, but now that there's nobody else that we have an issue with, all of a sudden Morgan Rielly's an issue again. Like this is what Morgan Rielly is. He's never been anything different than this. This is Morgan Rielly. He's been this way since day one.
He's great. I don't mind at all.
No, like I just
like he has 11 power play points.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Yes, they've been bad lately. Sure.
You know how many Matthews has? 13. You know how many Marner has? 13. You know how many Tavares has? 12.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's right there with everybody. So it's not his fault. That's what that says to me.
Buddy, I wish I knew why people get so far.
The only thing, like I'm saying, the only thing that I can see is that William Nylander is essentially alone on PP2. He is. It's him or nothing.
Well, they moved him up to 1 now, and it's still not doing much. But I don't know.
When he normally plays, I don't think that he should be down. I think Nick Foligno maybe or Wayne Simmons should go back to that net front presence because I don't want $11 million. I think we've said it before. I don't want $11 million standing in front of a shot.
No. Morgan Rielly plays the most minutes on the team. He has the most minutes this season. He's also got an expected goals for percentage of almost 60%. So basically what that means is when he's on the ice, they're going to score the goal 60. They're going to score 60% of the goals.
He's second on the team in power play time on ice. Like
it's unreal. Like
He spends the
I
majority.
don't know what more you want him to do at this point in time. It's just
no. You're just complaining to complain about something that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a mystery to me. I don't get it. I don't understand where the hate comes from. He's not a good D man, but he's a good mover of the puck, and he's an incredible power play quarterback. I don't know where this comes from. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Puck, and you need to have the guys who are there to shoot.
Yeah. I think that's it. Honestly.
You think so?
You want to do Would You Rather?
Would always love to. I don't know if we have. Do we have anything else?
I've got nothing else. It's been a pretty slow week.
Oh, the Flames have a positive case, I think.
Oh, that did just come out today. You're right.
Definitely impact the rest of this season if you have to take 2 weeks off.
Yeah,
and you need to finish games.
I'm worried, but we'll let that one play out because who knows? Hopefully, it just stays with that one person because that's happened in the past.
Did you see? Did you see how long Bogosian was out for?
They said at least a week, but
4 weeks.
4 weeks. Okay, that's tough.
At least 4 weeks. So
we're gonna see a lot of Rasmus Sandin. It's cool.
Maybe.
Maybe Ben Hutton. Might be Ben Hutton too. Who knows?
I think Ben Hutton is gonna get a look now, and
I think Ben Hutton might get a look over Dermott at this point, though.
Yeah, honestly, I would not be upset with that. I think as of this point, only Vegas and the Avalanche have clinched.
Yeah,
Avalanche clinch. So that's
so cool.
That's good.
Good for them. Great.
We're on the way. We're making it to playoffs.
We'll get there. I'm not worried.
We're making it. The good thing is that nobody in the North is flying away with any games, right? Like we said, Vancouver beat the Leafs twice, lost to Ottawa.
Right.
So that means nothing then. I think that's done.
Yeah.
Right. You have Calgary, who's now going to be sick potentially if they lose that many players.
If Calgary actually gets hit with this COVID thing, they're screwed. There's no way they're making a comeback.
Right. So they're going to potentially do that. Boom, done. Mm-hmm. Calgary can't make a comeback, but
Vancouver's the only team that could pass Montreal, but they're not catching.
I don't think they're catching Montreal, and then
Montreal's doing their very best to let someone catch them.
But that's what I'm saying is that no team is blowing anybody away, and they keep losing or winning a couple, losing a couple. It's
just a well-rounded division, realistically.
Yeah.
All the teams play each other really well, and it's tough to win games in that division.
Mm-hmm.
Before we
all the other divisions are just flying away with it.
Yeah. There's 4 teams at the top of those divisions that are good, and the rest suck. That's it. Every other division.
I mean, except for the West,
Central's
like you said, because Arizona, St. Louis, and the Sharks and the Kings actually they all have a chance.
They're all bad though.
Dude, Anaheim is only 10 points out.
They're still bad.
From the 4th spot. Arizona has 45 points. It
goes
so 45, bad. 44, 41,
They're all
43.
so bad, man. Like they all have all of those divisions have such a strong top and nothing at the bottom.
Yeah, that's awful.
We only have one team at the bottom that's not good, at least. And they're good. Like, they're winning games all of a sudden. I hate it.
I mean, it's 38, 39, 41. Yeah, like they've got points.
Yeah. Before we start this game, I thought of a topic. It's not quite a would you rather, but it's along the same idea. And I've had this conversation with numerous people in my lifetime. I don't know if it's a hot button topic, but I would like to get your opinion. Biggie or Tupac?
Biggie.
All right. You got the right
loved
answer.
His raps. Yeah, I loved his raps better. I don't know. Like, I understand the emotional side of Tupac for sure.
Sure.
And the rawness of him, but
I'm not saying Tupac's not talented. The guy's great. But
especially I'm taking a shot in the war. I'm listening to their music.
Yeah, to me, like, I grew up more on Biggie than I did on Tupac. So for me, it just resonates with like my childhood a little bit more. And I'm with Biggie a little bit more than Tupac. Like, Tupac is just, I know he put out great music. I just didn't grow up on it. And I was just like real big with Biggie. So I thought we might disagree on that, but I respect the correct answer coming out of you there. Good job.
I'm definitely a Biggie fan.
Good. All right, let's start it off with some fun ones. Would you rather skydive or bungee jump?
Oh, skydive. I would hate that feeling of bungee jumping.
Really?
The jolt of,
I guess.
I'm going down and then I'm going
But, like,
up.
wouldn't it be the same thing with, like, the parachute? No?
I have somebody with me. I don't know.
I think indoor skydiving I'd be cool with. I don't like either of these ideas.
You're not a big heights guy, are you?
I don't mind heights. I just don't like
I don't
relying
like
on other
falling out
things
of
to save
heights.
my life.
Yeah, fair.
Like same reason I don't like roller coasters. I don't like
Okay.
relying on this bar to hold
Oh,
my ass in, and I'm like, I don't like it.
which is the one that they give you like this? It's a really big ride, and they give you like this stupid little like it's just in your lap. It's not anything that actually holds
Like that
you.
little
It's
thing that
literally
just
just
like
like
kind of sits
yeah,
there,
it
and you're
just kind
like
of comes in here.
falling
Yeah,
out
it's
of the
one of the
thing the
new
whole
ones.
time. Yeah,
See, I
no,
never go.
I don't
I
like
did
trusting that. Like
no.
same with like a
It's so
parachute. Like what
funny.
happens if the parachute doesn't work?
Man, I remember once my granddad just decided he was gonna go. He's like well into his like well not well, but he's in his 70s now. But at
Okay,
the point he was late 60s, and he's
right.
just like, I'm gonna get the fast pass. I'm going, and he went on all the rides. And I looked at him. I was like, you crazy fucking old
Yeah,
man. That is
that's nuts.
nuts. How do
That's nuts.
you
I'm not here for it.
even do that? He didn't care. He's like,
It's
oh, I
not
love
worth
the
the
ride.
it's not worth the thrill for me. I don't know.
I don't
But
know
I'd
what this
probably do
is.
bungee jumping because it's a shorter way to
Nuts.
die. If I'm gonna die, I'm not falling to my death and like I pull the chute and nothing happens and I'm like, oh no, I have 2 minutes where I have to sit here and go ah.
I would Buzz Lightyear the shit out of it and follow style. That would be
Uh, that's interesting.
yeah.
Da, 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 da. That's not a good one. Would you rather sit on a cold toilet seat or sit on a warm toilet seat?
Oh, cold. I would be way more grossed out wondering why it's so warm.
Now, if it's like an intentionally heated seat or something, like that's way better. Like I'd rather be
No,
warm.
is it? Even
Yeah.
still,
Like
can
if
you
you
imagine?
know the reason why it's warm and you know no one's sat on, like if you live at home and you have like a heated toilet seat, that would be really nice.
Now, I'm kind of worried about my butt sticking. How cold is the seat?
That's what I
Is
mean.
it
Like
is it below freezing?
I don't enjoy sitting on a cold toilet seat. That's not nice. It's not good. I don't enjoy that.
Oh,
I
but I'm
don't
gonna
know.
take the cold over the warm. I think that would feel real gross. You know?
This is really strange. Would you rather be locked in a New York City studio apartment with 400 pugs for a year or be forced to round up all the pugs in the US and put them on a boat bound for North Korea? I don't know why this is a question, but where are we getting this many pugs?
Am I getting paid to get these pugs?
I don't know. I guess a lot of work to round up all of the
We have a lot of
pugs.
questions. Okay, I'm just gonna try to straight answer. I'm gonna live in the apartment
I
with
too
400
I
pugs.
love pugs.
Do
Like
you?
in terms of dogs, pugs are in my top three. I
In a
really like
studio apartment. I imagine this is a. How did it say the size? Sorry, did I miss that? I
it
just
just
heard
says
studio
New York
apartment.
City studio apartment, so I just assume that's small.
Yeah,
Um
I'm gonna. Can we Google that?
sure.
I need frame of reference here.
Top three dogs for me have always since I was a kid been like beagles, obviously. I bought one. French bulldogs and pugs. Like those three, just elite
Okay.
dogs for me. Love them. Corgis are like
I
four.
I love huskies.
Ah,
They're really nice. You
yeah.
know. Saint Bernards, even though they're so
The big
big.
fluffy motherfuckers? Yeah.
Oh, dude, they're mass. I love them though. You know, I think I like something that I could like ride. You know, like I want
Right.
to
You
ride
want like
this
a
thing
horse
to
dog.
work.
You want like a Great
Yeah,
Dane.
yeah. So there was this guy that used to come around the rink, and he had these three Saint Bernards, and they were three, like literally in three stages of life. You know, one of them was like
Okay.
2 years old, the other one was like seven, and the biggest one was like 14. And every time that they'd walk around the rink and like outside, because it was nice and cold for them, like the big one knew he's like, I'm getting pets from whoever I sit beside. So he'd come right beside me and just like lay all of his weight on my foot. He's like, well, I'm stuck here because he knows I got you stuck. You're gonna pet
Yeah.
me.
That's
The
awesome.
youngest one would just bounce from like all over the place, but always come back. You know, he's like so adventurous, and he'd come back. He's like, "So is that good? Can I go back out?"
Let me go
Yeah.
again.
And then the
Um,
middle one was just enjoying
oh
things.
man,
You know.
pugs for me just like they got that stupid squished in face, and it's adorable.
Yeah.
Like
I guess so.
they die really quick. Like they're not very good dogs. They're like bugs.
Really?
Like yeah, their health issues are
Uh,
terrible because their mouth is or their nose is stupid. The way
oh
it's
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just so they have a
Even
lot
some
of
of the
seizures and shit too. Apparently,
drool
like
and
that's
stuff too, I think.
if you hit them in the back of the head
The
too, their
bulldogs.
eyes fall out. Which is yeah. So like there's a lot of issues with pugs, but I
Oh my
fucking
goodness.
love pugs. They're so cool and they're so stupid. It's great.
Oh.
This one's a little deeper than the bug conversation.
Okay, I like that.
Would you rather prevent 9/11 or prevent the deaths of 3 people you choose?
Oh, I don't know. I gotta say 9/11 because I feel like that'd be more lives in a way.
Now, my question here is: do people know that I prevented 9/11?
I don't need to
I
know.
don't think so, right? Like I don't really have 3 people in my life that I'm like, I've missed so and so. Like I haven't had a lot of death in my life so far, which I guess I'm grateful for, and I've been pretty privileged in that sense. So I don't know if there's 3 people important enough for me to just like not take the fame of stopping 9/11. You know what I mean?
You're for the fame aspect of it.
Yeah.
No.
Like if I was in a horrible situation where I had lost like 7 people and I'm like, you know what? I need 3 of them back. I probably wouldn't even think about this.
Yeah, no.
But for the most part, like everybody that I know that has died has kind of just like lived their life.
Yeah.
There's a couple people, obviously. I know I have a couple friends that died when they were like 13. Okay. But like those are brutal. But like, I don't know. 9/11 was pretty bad. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I think I seem to remember.
It was a pretty big event.
Yeah, I may have been small, but it's definitely not something that does not get mentioned or thought about.
Would you rather only be able to teleport to places you've already been, or only be able to teleport to places you've never been before?
Teleport to because then you'd run out of places though.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm gonna go with the first. I almost said the other one, but yeah, I'd go with the first because then you were gonna run out of places with all that time to teleport.
So,
or maybe
the rule here is places you've been would be defined by a 50-mile radius, meaning you can't just say I teleported 2 feet to the left of where I've been before. So you have to go 50 miles from the closest place you've been. So like if I traveled to Newmarket, I'd have to go 50 miles away from Newmarket. I don't like that. I kind of want to go to the places I've already been. Seems way more practical.
I think for myself, I would just go see more places. I would go to those places and then I just walk to new places, you know?
Yeah. See, the thing too is like once you travel, like if I just teleported to Egypt right now, I couldn't get back because I can't travel home.
Exactly.
That's tough.
You'd have to fly back.
That's not very practical. It seemed like a really cool idea at first because you could travel so many places,
Right.
but I could never get home.
But whereas I'd go see the places I want to go see.
Yeah.
And then I would
you could go there again
when I want to go see them again. Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to book one-way flights because you can just
forward thinking.
Home. Yeah. That didn't take as much thinking as it should have.
I mean, it almost tricked us. It was more like a trick question.
Yeah. Would you rather teach history or teach math? I suck at both.
History.
It's my 2 worst subjects. I know nothing about history.
The worst part is
the least history buff person on the planet.
The worst part is I have to use math like all day, and it just really.
That's like easy math. That math's fun. Like I don't hate that.
That math is not always fun.
No, not always fun. But it's better than like the
huge stretches of area and build that and perfect that to whatever you figured out. Math is not fun.
No. Would you rather sport a keychain nipple ring or have a wardrobe that is made up of outfits worn by Scooby-Doo characters?
Keychain nipple ring, of course. Really? Yeah,
you don't want to rock like the bell bottoms with the white shirt and the ascot?
So Fred, no.
Yeah, no. The green shirt with the brown pants?
Oh God, no.
Nothing but a collar? Awful. I think that would be a look.
What about it's all the people that they run into too, right? So you get you get a whole bunch of fashion.
Yeah, I guess it's his Scooby-Doo characters.
Yeah, they're all characters. Or is it just the 5?
It doesn't say. It just says
no.
Oh wait.
Okay.
No, yeah, no. It just says consider Fred's neckerchief and unlocking your car door.
What?
I don't know what that has to do with anything. Maybe that's a really deep Scooby-Doo reference that we're not getting, but hey, keep that in mind when you're choosing what you're going to wear.
No, I'm gonna take the nipple. I feel like that'd be more of a
Oh, I
conversation
know.
piece.
I get what he means. The key ring on the nipple. You have the key always.
Oh,
Mm, that makes more sense. But why would I? I'm
clever.
gonna hang my keys from my nipple. That would
Is
hurt.
that what it is? I thought it was just a keychain.
Keychain nipple ring.
Like, but I thought it was just hang one of those like
No, it's like
Canada like nipple ring type
it's like
deal,
a ring on your nipple that like holds your keys.
Oh,
I would.
that'd be more
That'd be
convenient, I
so
feel.
heavy though. Just like one
Oh, my
side all the
boobs
time.
would sag.
One though, not both. Just one.
I'd definitely double up car key, house key. You gotta
Yeah.
keep them both together.
This is like those questions where it tests your morals.
Oh,
This is kind of like one of those because I don't think this should be on this, but if you saw a gang beating up a stranger, would you rather call the police but they don't get there in time, intervene and save a life but take an equally horrific beating? You know where you could pull the lever of the train and it doesn't hit the group of people but it hits your mom or something like that? Feels like one of those
oh,
questions. You
what?
ever seen that? Like
No, that's
there's like two things. There's two questions. It starts with like there's one person on one track and there's a train headed towards this group of people on the other track. You have the choice to make the decision to pull the lever to hit the one person instead of hitting the group. And most people are like, well, it makes more sense to save the group and like let one person die. And then they flip and it's like, okay, now that one person's your mom or something. Do you still pull the lever?
I mean, of course you pull the lever. That's your mom.
No, pulling the lever would kill your mom.
No,
It
oh, then
switches
you
the
don't
train
pull the
onto her
lever.
track.
Oh, right, no.
That's where like the moral question is like is what's your moral
Okay, so
compass?
here's the thing though, is do I know what they're beating him for? I think I'm just gonna call the police
Maybe
and
he
let them.
maybe he earned it. I'm
Yeah,
calling the
I'm gonna
police. I'm
call the
not taking
police
a
and
beating for some random dude. Maybe he fucking did something that he deserved. Maybe he stole from them
I
and
don't think we
he's
have time to
returning the
ask
beating.
what happened. It's not.
It doesn't
It's
even tell me, so
the
I don't know, man.
authorities
You got
can
it.
deal with that. They've got the
Take it.
job. Maybe they don't get there in time for the beating, but they get there in time to
To
see some
arrest
of
the
them
guys.
flee. You get one.
Mm-hmm.
I have hope.
Hey, you got something out of this.
You got something.
Yeah. Oh my.
You go home to the wife and you say, "We got something."
Okay. Um, is this not the same? What? Okay, so would you rather get $1 million a year in quarters or get $100,000 a year in bills?
What? $1 million in
Million
quarters?
dollars a year in quarters or 100,000 in bills? I'm taking the
Bills.
quarters, right?
Yeah, I'm taking the quarters.
That seems like a really stupid question. I
I
don't
just
know
want to know that
why.
you said bills.
Yeah, bills like cash money.
Yeah, no, I'm taking the quarters.
Like why is that on here? This one is just literally it doesn't say anything other than would you rather cowboy or Indian? It's not would you rather be it's just would you rather cowboy or Indian?
Indian, I feel.
I like horses
Hate the
though. Cowboy.
hate the Cowboys.
I don't know what the question's asking me.
I
Would I
don't
like to
like the
be
Dallas
one? Would you
Cowboys. I'm
rather
gonna go
watch
with
them? I don't know. I would like to ride horses. I play a lot of Red Dead, so that's a fun way for me. Would you rather be Harry Potter or be Luke Skywalker? I'll do two more after this one.
I'm gonna say Harry Potter.
Really?
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not a
that.
big Harry Potter guy. I just never got
No,
into
I
it.
don't even think about lightsabers would be cool for
So
sure.
cool. And the Force?
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that wizardry would be
Wizardry's
pretty
cool,
intense, and I'm like the chosen
but I
one.
want the Force.
I'm the chosen one. I'm not in
But
like an
you need
epic
a
fight with my dad.
wand to do magic. Like if
Whoa,
I
no,
snap
I'm
your wand,
not really. I'm like Harry Potter. I'm fucking.
but I'm not very up to date on what happens in the book movie series, but I'm
I
pretty
can tell
sure
you
he
that he
still
never
needs
dies.
his wand, does he not?
I can tell you that he never dies. He has a magic little blanket that he throws over him that's
Yeah, the
invisible.
invisibility cloak, cool, that's cool, but like he still needs his wand in order to do.
No, he has his family too.
Okay,
His family comes and saves him. His friends. You know
but
what Luke
like,
Skywalker
but
didn't
if
have?
on his own, Luke Skywalker had a family, but it's a real deep issue.
Right. This is what I'm saying. Okay.
If
He
he
kisses
doesn't
his
have
sister
his
at one
wand
point.
in his hand, he can't cast spells, right? I'm not 100. I'm not certain on this.
Sure.
Okay, if I'm Luke
You have to
Skywalker,
you
I
have to
can pull you to me without
but
anything.
but he has the most powerful wand.
Sure. Yeah, I get he's
The
powerful.
Force is not prepared for magic, is it?
I don't know. Who knows?
Exactly.
Depends on what magic you're throwing at me. Can I block it with my lightsaber? Maybe, maybe not. Holy fuck.
We can also take
This is
potions to make ourselves look
right.
different.
Right. In theory, so could I as Luke Skywalker.
What makes you look different?
I don't know. But what are the same potion you just took?
You can't. It's not part of your series. You don't get no potion.
Like doesn't mean I can't take it if we're in the same world.
I'm not sharing my potion.
Well, I could learn how to make it myself. Who knows?
You don't know how. You know the Force. That's it. You're one trick
pony. I can tell you these are not the droids you're looking for. I know that's not his line, but like I have that ability. Yeah, I just get in your head. You couldn't even do spells on me because I just get in your head. Would you rather eat a rotten raw steak or eat a human's cooked liver? That's illegal.
I've never had liver, but I think both are illegal, actually. It's illegal to serve uncooked steak.
Yeah, but you're not serving it. You're eating it yourself.
Yeah, I'd probably eat the steak.
I might eat the person. Would you know it's a human's liver?
You sick pup. It's a cooked liver. What do you think it's going to look like?
Like an every liver possible? I don't know. Like, do livers not look similar?
Just throw some barbecue sauce on it.
Like, does my liver look that much different than a cow's liver? I've never had liver either.
I've never had liver. I'm not. Maybe talk to a cannibal if you want. You can interview some next.
Raw, rotten steak, like that's sending me to the ER, right?
Not really. Some people have double blue, which is like 45 seconds.
No, yeah, like that's a thing. But rotten?
Is it rotten?
It says raw, rotten steak.
Okay, I'll venture into the liver then. I'll venture with you, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
No, that's what I mean. I'm not like graciously going, yeah, let's go eat people. Jeffrey Dahmer style. Hell yeah.
No, I'm not happy about it. I'm really upset about it, actually.
But I will eat your liver if I have to, if that keeps me alive. Would you rather marry a hardened criminal or marry someone with 5 kids from 3 previous marriages?
What are they criminal for?
I don't know. The thing just says hardened criminals do more than just shoplift. They're a legitimate criminal. That's all I know. They didn't take some oranges from your local Walmart.
I think the hardened criminal. I feel like I'd want somebody on my side like that.
5 kids.
Do you want any?
Not particularly. So 5 of them? With this woman that's been with 3 other marriages? It doesn't bode well for my marriage.
None of them are yours.
No.
And one thing that
5 kids that aren't mine, so there's still a chance I have my own kid.
One thing that it shows is exactly that
she's very fertile. I don't like this. I'm definitely marrying the criminal.
We'll have no kids. She'll be in jail the whole time.
I'm gonna go one more.
Let's
see if I can find a good one here. What the fuck? Oh my God. Okay. Would you rather
that one? Okay.
Have your left leg be painlessly amputated and only be allowed to use a peg leg as a prosthetic replacement, or have one of your toes be amputated with a dirty cleaver every year until you have none left?
I'm taking the peg leg.
I don't want a peg leg, but like
you're going to get infection.
You're right.
With a dirty cleaver, and you're going to feel that every single chop.
You're right.
For 10 years.
10 times. 10 years. 10 times that has to happen.
10 years.
10 times. What is the so if you choose the peg leg, you can take it off whenever you want and use a wheelchair if you please.
Yep, done.
If you choose the other option, your toes would be amputated, amputated on January 1st of each year, and the cleaver has a 20% chance of causing a painful but non-lethal infection that lasts a month. 20% of the time.
You just told me I could sit down for the rest of my life.
So 2 times that you get your toes chopped off, you're going to get infected for a month. This guy put some thought into this, though. Like,
yeah, That's intense. But I think we both are in agreement.
I think the peg leg makes more sense. Because eventually you're walking around with 2 peg legs because you can't balance without toes, I found out.
Right.
Like if you cut off all your toes, you can't balance. So you have
Right.
2 peg legs. And that's not good. You're Seamus from Family Guy. That's not good.
Only works in cartoons, man. It doesn't
Yeah, you can't actually do that in real life. Have you seen the one where he has the eye patch with like the eyeball on it?
The what?
Seamus has like the eye patch with the eyeball on it to make it look like he has 2 eyes. And he goes, wait a minute. And he puts on 2 of the eye patches with the eyeballs and he runs into somebody. Like, I'll figure this out. I got something here. I'll figure this out.
One of my favorite parts of that show was when Peter says, "This is the best thing since sliced bread," and they pan back to this guy.
I would love a sandwich. I don't want 2
whole loaves. Tough shit.
There's some fantastic one-liners in that show.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's so funny. Yeah, the cutaway scene.
I got one more then. Family Guy or The Simpsons?
Oh, Family Guy always.
Yeah, me too.
I appreciate the Simpsons for what it is. Like it's very
been on for so
family oriented.
That's great.
Yeah, but I'm just I found the Family Guy, the one-liners, and the ability to like. I also think it's really cool that Seth MacFarlane is able to like.
He's everybody.
The way that he reads lines too is like he'll just go from voice to voice to voice without thinking about him being each one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he just like it's amazing that he can go from one to the other and say it through, and
he's crazy talented. It's like whether you like his stuff or you hate it, he's crazy talented. Like his ability to do different voices and and his singing voice is good and his ability to sing in his voices are good. Like the guy's really talented, and he wrote the show. And he obviously did some shit that didn't work out very well. Like the Cleveland show was not a good show, but it has the best theme song of all time. The Oracle is not good.
Brian for like a couple.
Yeah, and people got pissed off, and they just resurrected his voice again.
But American Dad's good.
I never got into American Dad. I don't know. But like back on
American Dad is like he was smart about it because he was able to put a lot of more political jokes in American Dad because Stan's like the almighty American, and Roger's like a legitimate alien. Like that's the thing is like the same thing as Brian's a talking dog and Stewie's a talking baby. Like they're able to put lines through them because it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. If anybody
would
don't
think anything of it.
Exactly. Because it's from a talking alien.
Yeah, they mentioned that on one of their specials. Actually, they were talking about like how they can get away with these like really offside jokes because it's a cartoon and like you don't really think anything of it. But if that's like real people saying that, you're like, what the fuck? The Simpsons is good.
You would never let that fly.
The Simpsons is good, but like it only makes sense if you're like 5 years older than us. I find like those people are be like, Simpsons over Family Guy, but like I think there's just like this divisional gap there where you're just kind of like after you hit that point, and you're like, no, Family Guy's way better. But yeah, thought that'd be an interesting one. Final one, obviously, we can't just not do this one. If you were given the choice,
I don't know which one you mean.
I got you. Don't worry, you may never heard this one. This is a good one.
Okay.
If given the choice, and you were a baseball player, would you rather play in the city of Boston for the Red Sox and wear those yellow jerseys, or play in the most beautiful city in America and play for the scumbags, Yankees? Sorry.
Okay, it's really tough because one team sits atop the division.
That is a big thing that we need to implement into the conversation now.
And one team sits at the bottom. One team has a really beautiful ballpark, I find. One team has a really horrible ballpark because they're fans.
Right. Okay.
one team I like, one team I don't like.
Right. Oh, look at this. He's got a sticky note. If you're on audio,
We're just gonna put that there for the
it
duration.
says Bosto.
No, it says Boston. That's an N. That says
Bostu.
Boston right
So
there.
Brandon's playing for Bostu. I
That's
too.
my Boston. Is that
I
not it?
too. No, that's an N, but there's just not a lot of gap between.
That is right there.
That gets like. Woof. I don't know how to.
It swoops up pretty hard.
It does swoop. It like hardcore. It skydives down and then like squirrel suits up.
That's my N. I've always done my N that way. Yeah, I changed it for you.
There you go.
I altered it.
That's
I'll just keep that there for our next podcast. Okay.
I'm just gonna start with that. I too would choose Boston because I don't want to play for the Yankees. Their fans suck. I don't want baseballs thrown out of the back of my head. That's garbage.
I don't want to be last.
What I do like is I would like for you to go follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the BnB pod _ and on TikTok at the BnB podcast. You can also check us out and find our merch at theasports.com.
Chaos in the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff down below. You can find everything linked in the description.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
talking to Brant.
We will catch you next week. Cheers.